Listen up, wrestling fans.
Get out of the fucking ring.
Professional wrestling is a fight.
You ungrateful garbage!
Help me hype as a bitch.
This is Strong Honor, and we are hype as a bitch for New Japan Pro Wrestling and Ring of Honor, and we are unapologetic about how vulgar we can be on this program. Nope. I was on Twitter earlier. There was a whole conversation going on about a lot of podcasts use a lot of vulgar language, and this is certainly one of them. But
it's called life.
Well, and
the issue was that some of them are don't have that marker on there, and
label,
they're fucking swearing and shit. So.
Right. No, I have definitely gone out of the way to make sure that we have the explicit label on the show, because we certainly don't try to censor ourselves very much on the show. But that being said, we do keep the conversation, I should say, mostly positive, but because we're fans of the stuff, and we try not to delve down the negative way too much.
There's a lot of negativity out there.
There is. But again, this is a niche of a niche, being that we're about New Japan and Ring of Honor, so we'll be a little more critical on this platform than we would on like our other podcast, Best Pro Wrestling Podcast, where we're just kind of, when we're talking more on the WWE side of things, it's so easy to just go down that negative path on other podcasts, so we try not to be too negative. But we'll be a little bit here, but I think, again, I like the style of podcast to where we talk about what we like about things and not spend a whole bunch of time
for the week.
Right, and not spend a lot of time being negative. And honestly, on a week that should be kind of a down week for New Japan and Ring of Honor, there's actually some interesting stuff to talk about. We had a couple of Road to Wrestling Dontaku shows to talk about.
Whiteboard.
I can't believe it. Impact made it.
We have a whiteboard in the studio with upcoming wrestling events, and I actually put the Impact pay-per-view on there coming up this weekend.
It's official. They're back.
Don't worry, we're not talking Impact on this show. It's just New Japan and Ring of Honor. But we had a couple of really good, not really good, but a couple of interesting, I thought they were good, Road to Wrestling Dontaku shows. We'll talk about those today. And Ring of Honor had another one of its HonorClub exclusive shows, what used to be a house show, but now you can get on HonorClub. Used to be a DVD exclusive kind of a thing or whatever back in the day. But now for your $9.99 HonorClub membership, you can watch Masters of the Craft. And a fun show there. Not a ton of noteworthy stuff to talk about, but a couple of things.
It helps extend some of the story, so better than Ring of Honor TV. It's something they're going to be able to take advantage of.
Well, better than Ring of Honor TV usually, but this week on Ring of Honor TV I thought was really well done with the tag team gauntlet match, advancing that storyline. So we'll get
move.
Yeah, we'll get to all of that today. But let's start with New Japan this week.
King of Sport. New Japan Pro Wrestling.
So before we get into these Road to shows, Katsuya Kitamura, the young lion that everybody has been really jacked up about, the big jacked up Brock Lesnar type young lion looking guy with the fang mouth guard and whatnot. He's been out allegedly with a concussion injury, but now it's kind of being not necessarily directly reported yet, but there's people talking about how it's looking like he might be gone, whether it's him wanting to be gone or whether it's from this injury. It's not quite clear yet, but it's kind of unfortunate news. But I wonder if it's something that, if it's the injury thing, certainly that's sad. He did get into this part of the game, this pro wrestling game, later in his life. He's 31, 32 years old right now and is still, in that young lion stage. So older for a young lion, certainly. The injury bug certainly catching up with him. But there's a little bit of speculation that maybe he's a little upset that he's not further along and maybe wants to go and do some other stuff. And
see, I heard some stuff that he was kind of sleeping around, making an embarrassing name for himself kind of situation.
Sure,
too.
I've heard some stuff like that
Japanese
before, too.
culture is kind of like hush-hush. Like, Shibata even went through that kind of stuff back in the day.
Right, which is baffling how they still push Michael Elgin, but I suppose.
I believe it's Elgin.
And because of the language barrier and not knowing what's going on, they probably just aren't aware of it over there, unfortunately. So there's that. Too bad about Katsuya Kitamura. I think a lot of people wanted to see what things where he was going to go over the next couple of years, and if he was going to have a big excursion coming up soon and stuff like that. So yeah, it's too bad, but we've got no shortage of young lions to talk about too. I did recently check out a little bit of Kawato, who's over in CMLL now.
Okay,
and I was on YouTube and I was like, oh, there's a CMLL show, so I'll just kind of fast forward until I find Kawato's match, and there he was working heel with the other Japanese guy that's in CMLL right now. He looked a little out of place. He looked like he was still trying to kind of figure out what's going on with Lucha Libre, but still, it was kind of cool to see him he's got a bit of a new look. He's got some long pants, some red pants now.
Dang.
So, yeah, it was kind of cool to
moving on up.
Yeah, kind of cool to see what he was doing a little bit there. So I'll be checking in from time to time with some.
It's like the next stage of Pokemon.
Be checking in from time to time to see how Kawato's doing over there in CMLL. So let's start with the Road to Dontaku show from the 13th last week. We'll just kind of run through this real quick and talk about some talking points along the way. Speaking of young lions, the opening match was two young lions in a singles match. The more experienced Tetsuhiro Yagi took on the brand new young lion. I think he made his debut at the Lionsgate show last week, but I didn't see that Lionsgate show yet. But he was taken to this newer one, Yuya Uemura, I believe is how you say it. I'll get better at these things as we go.
As we say them more.
Right. So Yuya Uemura, I think, and that's probably wrong, and I'll be kicking myself, and the internet will be screaming at me, but that's just fine. Yagi, of course, the more experienced one with the Boston Crab. It's a big drop kick to the face, but this Yuya Uemura has a good look about him. I like how he looked, and again, so young, probably his first, second, or third match or something, but still, an entertaining opening match, I thought. Tomoyuki Oka took on Manabu Nakanishi. I always like when these two get in the ring together because they just have a similar kind of style, almost a similar body type. I've talked about it before. Nakanishi, of course, gets the win with the torture rack. Hits a nice vertical suplex, Oka does in the match, but then Nakanishi comes back and returns with his own suplex later on. So fun stuff there. Yuji Nagata and Shota Umino team up with Tiger Mask to take on Togi Makabe, Ryusuke Taguchi, and Ren Narita. This was an interesting little match here because Umino was going to be facing Nagata the next night on in a singles match. Taguchi taunts Nagata early in the match after Nagata has his hot tag, and he taunts him with that Nagata pose, the kind of salute that he does.
Yep.
So Taguchi kind of doing that, having some fun there. Tiger Mask wins with the Tiger Driver over the young lion Narita after Narita demands the late tag, much like the guy we were just talking about.
Haha Klendix.
Yeah, the guy in CMLL now.
Kawato.
Yeah. He demands a late tag just like Kawato did.
Total Recall.
But then ends up eating the loss from Tiger Mask in the match.
Oh, shit.
Then we had a fun six-man Taichi Takamichinoku and Takashi Iizuka taking on Rocky Romero and Roppongi 3K. So this is all about Roppongi 3K trying to get back in the mix, but Suzuki Gun doing their bullshit and getting one over on those guys. Romero, he's the most over in the match, which is kind of weird because they're giving the push to Roppongi 3K, the two younger guys. But Romero gets the hot tag. He goes crazy. Everybody cheers. It's great. Tai Chi wins with the last ride over Show after Iizuka has a chair shot behind the ref, and they use the Iron Claw to Romero after the match. So some shenanigans and skullduggery there from...
you got to use a few tricks up your sleeve, if you know what I mean. A bit of the old skullduggery.
Skullduggery from the Suzuki Gun guys.
No,
there.
From Suzuki Gun?
Right. Who would have thought it? Hinare and Tenzan teamed up this time versus Ishii and Yano. Ishii and Yano get the win. Ishii pins Hinare with the Brain Buster after a good back and forth and near falls. This was a theme going into the second night as well, where Hinare teamed up with his World Tag League partner Togi Makabe on the second night, also losing, but Hinare demanding a singles match in the post-match interview. And that's kind of what these matches have been Hinari facing off with Ishii, hitting hard back and forth and beating each other up. So looking for that somewhere down the line. Who knows? Maybe they're doing that singles match on these. I haven't looked at what the house show lineups are that aren't on NJPW World. Maybe it's something they're doing on house shows that's not making it to tape here or making it on the internet. So
you never know.
But again, that'd be fun. I've talked about it. It'd be cool to see that in the G1 or it's just a regular special singles match.
They're good at those kind of early teases like that.
Absolutely. And the fact that they're doing it so much leads me to believe that we're probably going to get it at some point. So, did you find something there, Joe? You look like
nothing. I was just Hinare is not one that I've heard often, so I honestly had to check it out, and I recognized him right away just because he is completely out of place.
Well, and he's a guy that he was a young lion, just like all the other young lions, and then he got injured and went away for like 6 months, came back from the injury, and now he's kind of got his gimmick already. He never really did the excursion thing, but he did go away because of injury. He's not really getting a push now that he's back, but he does have, like, he's got the I don't remember where he's from exactly, but he's kind of doing a native kind of a gimmick with the face paint and stuff, almost kind of like what the Usos were doing a little bit.
Tatanka.
Yeah, something like that. But it doesn't smell as offensive as some Native American type of gimmicks do.
Yeah.
So there's that. And I like Hinare. He hasn't really had any big signature wins or anything like that. Like I said, they're not giving him the push yet, but I like what they're doing. So then we had the video that Bone Soldier will be making his return.
People are excited for this.
I don't know why.
Right? What the fuck?
He was.
Kenny Omega said it best. Cody just loves his fucking mascots.
right. That's kind of what it feels like at this point. Another Bernard the Business Bear, or Barry the what was the first
drug-free bear?
Barry the drug-free bear. Bone Soldier's making a comeback now. The former Captain New Japan turncoat joined the Bullet Club, became the Bone Soldier, which
didn't do shit.
I was about to say, this is something I don't know much about. You have to kind of explain Bone Soldier.
Absolutely. No, he was horrible. He, as Captain New... okay, so think about it. Before he was Bone Soldier, he was Captain New Japan, which was just an old guy in a New Japan mask, and he would be on the undercard tag matches with, a Tiger Mask and Jushin Thunder Liger, and he would be the guy that would lose, if the Young Lions weren't there. Recently, over the past year or so, we've had this nice crop of Young Lions come in, and what do you know, Bone Soldier's been missing, because who needs the fucking guy? So, I mean, they did the gimmick where he turned against the New Japan and joined Bullet Club, and he became Bone Soldier, but he was playing that same role in Bullet Club. It's not like he was doing any better in
Teamed
Bullet
with
Club.
Fale and ruined their whole fucking thing and everything.
Right.
Lost all their matches because of him.
Right. He was like Chase Owens, but way worse.
Gotcha.
At least
this sounds exciting to me.
At least Chase.
I love some good disappointment.
at least Chase Owens has a fun backstage interview. Gets some, he gets a pinfall or two in the New Japan Rumble or whatever.
He's gaining experience with them.
Right. So, but yeah, who knows? Maybe Bone Soldier will come back and it won't be the same guy. Maybe it'll be Cody under a mask or something. Who knows? But Bone Soldier will make his return sometime soon.
Kota Ibushi under a mask.
That'd be kind of funny. Then we had a big 8-man tag, Bushi and Hiromu, Evil and Sonata versus El Desperado, Yoshinobu Kanemaru, and the Killer Elite Squad. So the two tag teams facing off with each other. The Los Ingobernables get the win. Lance Archer attempts to intimidate a kid again. That's kind of his gimmick now, is intimidating kids until they cry, even though this one wasn't having it. This one was just like, fuck off.
I like it. See, and now parents are going to be bringing their babies to just have them scream at my baby.
Yeah, I hope so. They don't give a fuck over there.
I love it.
Killer Elite Squads get a couple near falls on Evil. Bushi ends up pinning Kanemaru with the cradle after he kicks out of his finisher, the diving DDT that Kanemaru does. So what Suzuki Gun is saying after the match is, you kicked out of my finisher. You wasted your one chance on this meaningless tag match. When it comes down to the real match, we're just going to whip your asses. You guys suck. You guys are bastards. Fuck off. So it's funny. They're taking the loss in stride in pure Suzuki Gun fashion. Then this first night of the tour on the 13th, the main event was a 10-man elimination tag match. So for your old school Survivor Series fans, this was one of those. But with the added stipulation that not only could you be eliminated by pinfall or submission, but also over the top rope. So it makes it for a little bit shorter match. And you can get you can wrestle a New Japan style match, but not pin and submit guys, that
get that quick surprise elimination. That's not a roll-up.
So this one was Kushida, David Finlay, Juice Robinson, Hiroshi Tanahashi, and some other guy versus Will Ospreay, Jay White, Hirooki Goto, Kazuchika Okada, and Yoshihashi. So Team New Japan versus Chaos, essentially. One of the things I liked about this match and a couple other matches on the show, since we're building up to the bigger matches down the road, instead of introducing each team at a time, they would introduce, for instance, like Kushida would come out for his team, and then Will Ospreay would come out on the other side for his team.
Right on.
So they would, introduce the opponents for the upcoming matches until the entire teams were in the ring.
Sure.
So I liked that was a nice touch. In this match, Tanahashi plays captain. In other words, Ryusuke Taguchi usually comes out with the captain's armband on his sleeve to represent that he's the captain of Team Taguchi Japan. So Tanahashi plays the captain in this match. Jay White won't participate in the chaos pose. This is that weird little hey pose that they do after they do like a big move. And Jay White's like, I'm not having any of that.
Good.
And because the pose thing is kind of goofy, and I guess it's paying an homage to some sort of commercial that's popular in Japan.
Okay.
So that's what that's all about. But Jay White, I like that Jay White is in chaos, but is kind of on the outside, playing that guy that stirs the pot, and also I'm not going to participate in your silly little pose game.
It totally plays into that 100%. That's awesome.
Yeah. Superstar hot tag to Tanahashi. He comes in and runs wild on everybody. He faces off with Will Ospreay in the match. That kind of gets everybody excited for a potential singles match between those two in the future.
Absolutely.
Tags Kushida. Ospreay does a springboard into a Kushida armbar. They tease a double elimination, but then they tease a double elimination over the top rope, and then a double elimination happens after the tease. So they do a suplex on the apron, and that leads to the double elimination. Elgin eliminates Yoshihashi. Goto eliminates Elgin. Almost immediately, Juice eliminates Goto over the top rope. Okada eliminates Juice. Finlay and
getting eliminated by Goto.
David Finlay and Jay White knock Okada and Tanahashi off the apron, so that eliminates the both of them. Then you're down to the last two, Jay White and David Finlay, and David Finlay eliminates Jay White over the top rope after his stunner. So not getting the pin over Jay White, but getting the over the top rope elimination after hitting his finisher.
Makes him look strong, though. Gives him a good notch.
And again, for a guy like David Finlay, who I haven't really liked his promos, I think he's improving here, and I'm liking what they're doing with not only what David Finlay was doing in the ring, but also the backstage ones too. Nothing great here, but it's making me believe that fucking David Finlay's got a chance to walk away with this U.S. title, even though, when I step away from, being immersed in the product, like there's no fucking way David Finlay is going to have that U.S. title. But, just seeing, talking about, hey, Jay White is 9-1 in matches versus David Finlay, and it's going to be, I'm going to 10-1, baby, but just them two talking shit to each other. It's like, God, Dave, at some point David Finlay's got to get a win, but it's not now. It's going to be sometime in the future. But it's just these promos they're working. There's this little glimpse of believability.
I'm with you. Like he's definitely that guy. I'm like, I dog on him all the time. Like, oh, you're just your dad's name kind of situation. He's never stuck out to me, but yeah, New Japan kind of kick him in the butt, putting him in this titles picture. That's awesome. He's really sticking out for once.
Yeah. And even Jay White's promos too are working for me too. He's talking about how I had to work my ass off to get into the New Japan dojo.
I wasn't handed shit.
Right, pay for my own flight to get here. Did you pay for your own flight? That kind of shit. So just claiming he had to work his ass off to get there.
Yeah, that Switchblade thing. I was so skeptical on it, and he's really won it over on me.
Well, I'm not necessarily won over on the Switchblade part of it. Like when he says, like his little catchphrase at the end where he's like, breathe with the Switchblade. I'm like, what the fuck is that all about? So I'm not that.
The look wasn't working for me at first, and now it looks part of him. It doesn't really look odd on him to me.
Right. And again, the content of his promos being about this feud with with David Finlay, rather. It's a natural story because they were young lions in the dojo together, and Finlay hasn't had that world travel yet, that excursion. Even though he's from abroad, he's not from Japan, but neither is.
We're all from abroad.
Neither. Hold on.
All right, let's focus on business.
But you get what I'm saying. But he hasn't had that experience outside of New Japan. He hasn't been sent to CMLL or Great Britain or the United States yet. I think a Great Britain excursion would do a guy like David Finlay a lot of good, like working for Progress and
for sure,
and RevPro and
gain some of that really technical aspect out of it.
Right, he's got good intensity. He's got decent power moves, but up the game a little bit and do. I don't know. He doesn't really have a gimmick. He's just kind of a guy.
That's where I kind of wanted him to change up, because he kind of just looks like a bum in his underwear that rolled into a wrestling ring right now. And
a tan, maybe do some sit-ups wouldn't hurt either. I mean, I should talk, but again,
right.
I'm not getting in a ring trying to entertain the fans of New Japan fucking pro wrestling.
And nothing's sticking out on him yet.
Right.
But many podcasts ago, I realized, he's still a young, not a young lion, but he's younger than I really thought he was.
Right,
and
that's the other thing.
He unfortunately looks older than he is.
Because of the beard and everything. But yeah, he's only like 22, 23, 24.
So he'll find his way.
So yeah, plenty of time to grow, and he'll broaden up as he gets his man shoulders and stuff like that.
Too bad he doesn't have that Irish accent.
Maybe he goes off on excursion to Great Britain, goes to Ireland, and maybe gets that accent.
I would like him to come back with like a really bad Irish accent.
All right, let's not get carried away here.
The bullshit continues.
All right, as much as I like a good gimmick sometimes, I don't need over-the-top gimmicks in New Japan Pro Wrestling.
A dick.
I know. I'm just saying. The internet's screaming, "What the fuck are you guys talking about, David?" It's fake Irish.
You can't take Taco serious.
I mean, it does work for Matt Hardy doing with the fucked up accent. So there is that. All right, let's talk night 2 of this Road to Dontaku. This time from the 14th of April here. Again, back to the Young Lions opening match. Ren Narita versus another newcomer Young Lion. This one, Yota Tsuji, I believe is how you say it. Narita wins with the Boston Crab, of course, being the
My name is so fucking boring.
Taco. We'll work on that. You'll be Taco Naruji-san.
I just tell everyone Taco Miss Prime. It's easier.
There you go. That is easier. Ren Narita dominates. He works the leg. Tsuji does come back late with 2 big slaps to the face. So I like the slapping there. That's a nice touch there from Tsuji. Then it was Shota Umino, son of Red Shoes, the referee, versus Yuji Nagata. Nagata, of course, gets the win with the crossface, but Umino, lots of hot fire in this one. He tries to just outspeed Nagata, just bring the fight to him early on in the match. Outpace and tries to outpace, but Nagata just beats him down with hard kicks and wins with the crossface.
He's gonna wrestle till he's 70.
right. Talking about after the match, I'm just gonna keep wrestling and working with these young lions and getting them fired up and doing all that. So good stuff there. Then Taguchi Japan, Manabu Nakanishi, and young lion Tomoyuki Oka team up versus Tenzan Tiger Mask and Tetsuhiro Yagi, another young lion. So usually when there's two young lions in here with these veterans, it's a battle of, well, let's see which young lion is going to lose. This time it was Tetsuhiro Yagi. It was a young lion, Tetsuhiro Yagi, losing, but it was another young lion pinning him, Tomoyuki Oka, going. He's going to have a big singles match coming up. Or no, he had the singles match the night before with Nakanishi, right? So, but he'll have some stuff coming up on Lionsgate and stuff like that. I'm sure he has other big singles stuff coming up, or more interesting singles stuff. But a nice little win for a young lion in a 6-man tag there. Taguchi's doing his double fist bump gimmick, part of Taguchi Japan, because Tiger Mask is on the other side in this case, on the other team, but usually they're on the same team. So he goes in to give him the double fist bump, but then olays him and kind of frustrates Tiger Mask getting out of the way there. Then
that's when he should have pulled out a laser pointer and just got him that way.
It's going to happen, man.
Ball of yarn out of his tights and just throw it in the corner. Oh, it would have been great.
But Osprey is the cat. But I mean, Tiger Mask, I see what you're saying there.
Look, Osprey comes running from the back.
Then
don't let Taco book.
Then we had a rematch from the night before, Roppongi 3K and Rocky Romero versus Taichi, Iizuka, and Taka Michinoku again. The bad guys, Suzuki Gun, get a win with a super kick over Sho again. This time, this is, again, the rematch from last night. Long heat on Rocky Romero in this match again. Iizuka is biting everybody. Who gives a fuck? The rough gets bent. Here comes the Iron Claw and the Skullduggery. Then there's a 3-on-1 beatdown into the finish. So much Skullduggery. And then right after the match, Taichi doesn't go to the back. He sweaty without his shirt on, goes over and joins the commentary team for the Japanese broadcast feed. So
nice, might as well.
I thought that was kind of fun. But Suzuki Gun continuing to get heat and Skullduggery wins over Sho and Yo. It's interesting. It just doesn't. I like Sho and Yo, but again, I'm not.
because
I don't dislike them either.
Some of their merchandise coming out right now, they're releasing a little catalog of photos of them, So it's I'm glad they're doing stuff like that because they're pretty boys. And when you come out with Rocky Romero and he's fucking shooting out the smoke and a giant fucking tank on his back, he's gonna stick out a little bit more.
The only merch I would want is the white jacket with the stars on the inside,
right?
Because when I believe it's Yo, yeah. Because the way I remember which one is which, Sho likes to show off. He wears the gold, so he's the show off.
Okay.
And Yo is the one that comes out with the silver and the jacket. When he opens it up, he's like, "Yo, look at my stars."
That's probably the best explanation for Roppongi 3K right there.
If I can
they're still the Tempura boys, as far as I know.
Pantera boys.
If I can get Yo's jacket with the stars, so I can walk around and be like, "Yo, look at my stars."
But they don't really stick out outside of their looks, though. Like Tyler Breeze when he was NXT, he had the whole star persona. He was writing songs. He had a photo catalog going on. That's kind of what these guys remind me of, but they're not doing anything. They're Rocky Mero's the center of the spotlight. Fucking I'm just the manager, and then he's off to the side, and it's like, go, my boys, go! And they definitely need something to make some act more like stars instead of looking like a star.
Well, yeah, and even in their promos, they're still kind of cutting white meat babyface promos. There's no real attitude there. But again, I mean, that's kind of what they do in New Japan, too. But then again, these guys are in chaos. Okada's at the top, calling Tanahashi a bastard. The chaos started as a heel faction and still is to a certain extent.
They have fucking Evil coming out with all sorts of goofy shit on him. So it's just how can these guys not just be, playboys in a sense, male model wrestlers almost.
Right, yeah. That's the thing is I think the
K-pop,
the party gimmick or whatever, just it's not really suiting them, and so I think it's taking them a while to get over and maybe for them to kind of get into what the characters are because it doesn't seem like they are the characters that they're playing at this point, being the party boys,
right?
Or whatever. So
yeah, I guess J-pop, but it would be fun if they went that route. Tommy's like, I don't know what the fuck J-pop is.
It's Japanese pop music. Okay. I know what it is.
I'm more of a C-pop kind of guy.
that K-pop is super fucking popular right now. So
is that like Fago?
No, that's Ohio.
All right, hang on.
I got
All
it.
right, let's focus on business.
Ishii and Yano beat Makabe and Hinare. Same story here with Hinare and Ishii facing off. Kushida, David Finlay, Juice Robinson, and some other guy teamed up versus Will Ospreay, Jay White, Goto, and Yoshihashi. 8-man tag here.
We should just get a censor button. Just be like, and
yeah, I'll work on that one. Good late action in this one. Juice and Goto had a nice exchange of finisher counters in the match, but Kushida, David Finlay, and Juice and the other guy get the win here. Then the big 10-man tag elimination again. I really liked this one from the second night. Los Ingobernables versus Suzuki Gun, 10-man elimination style. I just thought it was a really for basically a skippable nothing kind of. If you're again these Road to shows without a title match on them, these are kind of your Raw and SmackDown shows. But these two main events, especially this one, I thought from the 14th, I really liked it. It was entertaining. You got to see the cool matchups between like Naito and Suzuki. Basically eliminating each other.
For sure.
And Naito is sacrificing himself to eliminate Suzuki, and then they just brawl into the back.
I like that the camera stops with the brawl too. They're like, oh yeah. I guess they're going that way.
But then you got to tune into their YouTube page to finish watching the Boiler Room Brawl, basically.
Nice.
So there's that. Yoshinobu Kanemaru eliminates Bushi with a roll-up after a low blow. Almost does the same thing to Naito. Naito gets his revenge, though, and low blows Kanemaru, and then rolls him up for the 1-2-3. Naito sacrifices himself to eliminate Suzuki over the top rope, and again, they keep brawling all the way to the back. Sonata eliminates Davey Boy Smith Jr. with a dragon screw over the top rope.
Nice.
Archer eliminates Sonata and Evil. So, again, the Archer and Davey Boy Smith Jr. want to go for Sonata and Evil's, or they are going for their tag titles coming up in the not-too-distant future. Hiromu versus Archer and El Desperado then, and Hiromu actually eliminates Lance Archer, but then El Desperado pins Hiromu after Yoshinobu Kanemaru spits the whiskey behind the referee, so again, with the skullduggery. There. So then, yeah, of course, El Desperado and Kanemaru were bragging about, beating Hiromu, the former champion, and all that, and how they wasted their one chance with the win the night before, and we're gonna mop the floor with you come the one-on-one tag match. But I do like that Hiromu and Bushi are talking about, finally we get to face you guys in a one-on-one situation, a straight-up tag, and Hiromu is obsessed that the junior tag belt is going to be the main event of a show coming up. He's like, we're going to be in the main event. We're going to be able to show the world what the junior heavydweights are all about. And so Hiromu...
I like that he was on the ground, like, come here, let me tell you a story.
Yes. So, yeah, fun stuff. Yeah, if you didn't get a chance to see those Road to shows, if you're looking for a standout thing, I would recommend the two main events the most. Those two elimination tags, they were quite a bit of fun. Now I did get a chance to check out the RevPro shows from WrestleMania weekend because they showed up on NJPW World this week.
Same with the Ring of Honor thing too. They had some matches on there.
Right. The I can't remember the name of it. The Supercard
of Honor.
Yes.
We're both like, But yeah, they put the RevPro and the Supercard Honor shows on New Japan for Americans.
And not the entire show.
No.
It's just the matches featuring New Japan talent. The only one I didn't watch of the RevPro stuff, and we talked about Supercard of Honor last week, that whole show, so you can check that out one show back in the feed. But the RevPro stuff from WrestleMania weekend. The only match on NJPW World that I didn't check out was the Juice and Tanahashi.
Go back and watch that. It was a really fun match. Yeah, I'm not too familiar against the guys that they fought, but God, did Juice and Tanahashi make them look fucking good.
Right on.
It was definitely a really fun match.
Well, the big story is the main event, Tomohiro Ishii versus Zack Sabre Jr. Again, Zack Sabre signing full-time with New Japan, and so not going to have as much time to commit to these other indies. And we talked about it last week. It is kind of funny that Zack Sabre lost the undisputed British Heavyweight Championship, the RevPro title, to another New Japan guy in Tomohiro Ishii. But Ishii's been back and forth done stuff for RevPro quite a bit too. But yeah, hell of a match. match. The story is Zack Sabre, just keeps getting cocky and pie-facing fucking Ishii, and Ishii comes back and slaps the shit out of him, beats him up, and then Zack Sabre has to, get back to his game and wrapping him up in submissions.
Well, I loved Ishii just walking forward like Terminator with like each smack. It's like, nope.
Yep. Just really good match. I was expecting more out of Jeff Cobb and Minoru Suzuki, but I think Jeff Cobb just maybe isn't quite used to working that New Japan main event kind of style.
The story there was just Suzuki getting his moves in. I think it was more just getting Jeff Cobb in the ring with someone like Suzuki and showing Suzuki off to the crowd.
yeah, I think so too. But yeah, there were a couple of moments in there where it looked like Jeff Cobb maybe got a little bit lost or just wasn't sure quite where to go. Big six-man tag, Kota Ibushi, Flip Gordon, and Shane Strickland versus Rocky Romero, Chucky T, and Will Ospreay. This was a crazy match.
Fun.
I was really interested to see how Shane Strickland did in this match. I've become a pretty big fan over him over the last 6 months or so. But he was just kind of a guy in the match. He looked good. He didn't look bad by any means. But the story was more about Will Ospreay facing off with Kota Ibushi. They kind of teased it early and then came back to it in a big spot later in the match. And then after the match, after Ospreay got the win, they had a nice kind of Kota Ibushi basically said, hey, next time we face, let's do one-on-one. So that'd be really cool. Kota Ibushi
very cool.
and Will Ospreay. There was a nice moment between Ospreay and Flip Gordon in the match as well. But yeah, again, I was I don't want to say disappointed, but I was really kind of hoping that Shane Strickland would show something, have a cool moment in the match that would kind of make the New Japan guys stand up and say, oh, look at this guy. But I
think it was more getting him in there involved with those guys.
Yeah, he like I said, he played his role well. He was good in the match.
Had some good spots.
Right. Nothing was bad, so there's something to be said about that, too.
It sucks watching these on New Japan World, though, because they block the music on the intros because they don't have the rights to them. So it's like, I love the song he comes out to, and I can't hear it.
Yeah, there is that. So got to save myself $10 on my RevPro subscription. So I think what I'm going to do instead of that is next month, Progress is going to have a 3-day tournament.
The name's on that.
Yeah, I'm sorry I don't have it in front of me here, but I know Cassius Ohno, the formerly Chris Hero, is going to be there. Current NXT guy is going to be on, and that's not really the number. That's probably my number 5 or 6 reason why I want to watch it. Just because there's going to be a lot of guys on there. I haven't had a chance to check out Progress yet, and I always hear great things about it. So
good shit.
So for you pay for the 1 month, you get this 3 days worth of tournament shows with a lot of cool names on it. So I'll be looking forward to checking that out early on next month. All right, let's shift gears and talk some Ring of Honor now.
Obviously, I got the names up here.
Well, we can. We'll go back to it. Yeah, quickly before we go to Ring of Honor, go ahead and. We got
Pete Dunne on there, Keith Lee, Zack Sabre Jr., Doug Williams, Angelico, Mark Andrews. I've been hearing a lot of stuff about this Flash Morgan Webster guy, so I'm kind of curious to see what he's about.
Fucking Angelico, remember his stuff from Lucha Underground, jumping off the top of Dario's office and stuff like that. So.
Chuck Mambo, Chris Brooks, Jordan Devlin, Joey Janela, TK Cooper, David Starr, Tyler Bate, and Cassius Ohno.
Yeah.
So a lot of fucking hard hitters on this thing.
Yeah, I feel like this is going to be a good weekend to dive into Progress.
Yeah.
So that's definitely something.
There's definitely a good chunk of names on there I'm not really familiar with, and even people like Joey Janela I'm only familiar with that Spring Break show and what he did this past weekend. So it's it's gonna be a nice treat there to watch some of these guys.
All right, let's talk this Ring of Honor, this Masters of the Craft show from Columbus, Ohio. How did your Honor Club work for you, Taco?
I didn't watch it live. I came back the next day and watched it, and it worked perfect.
Right on. I
even had Ring of Honor TV like earlier than 4 p.m. or whenever it's on Monday, so that was cool too.
I was able to catch the 2 main events live, which was nice, and then I watched the rest of it earlier today. But what's frustrating again is I have a Chromecast and I have the Amazon Fire TV stick. So
we should try to pull it up on your PS3.
Oh, that's interesting.
I was using it on the PS4 web browser and it was working just fine. But like I said, with Supercard of Honor, it was just nothing. It was not working on anything. But the following days, when they did finally get it up for the most part, it's working fine now on anything you watch it on. But it was only working on my laptop and my phone, and then I would go on my PS4 browser, and it wasn't working. So,
well, it's just so weird because when I watch live, I can Chromecast it, but then when it's on demand later, I can't. So it's like, it's in the same browser. It just the video player looks a little bit different.
Okay.
So yeah, it's just strange. So, but it was what it was. I hooked the laptop up, plugged in with the HDMI cord, and that worked fine. So that was good. So yeah, Masters of the Craft that started off with the Dogs versus Coast to Coast. Coast to Coast win with the double Coast to Coast. The Dogs attack after the match, getting their heat back. It was just a match. It was fine.
Those fucking dogs.
Cheeseburger versus Silas Young for the TV championship. This is
okay. Let's. I guess my Honor Club wasn't working great because I didn't see that first match at all. It started like literally they were in the ring, Silas Young and Cheeseburger.
Oh, interesting.
So
yeah.
I didn't see no intros or nothing like that.
Oh,
so
okay, yeah. Cheeseburger and Silas Young was the second match for the TV title. This is because Cheeseburger won a 4-corner survival match in Nashville. He's got the new music. The new song is called "Big in Japan," which is great. He's known as the Sesame Seed Cowboy. Now he comes up with the cowboy hat on, doing the whole gimmick.
I'm loving it.
Cheeseburger. Man.
It's fun, and you know what? This was kind of a good match actually.
Yeah.
And all credit here goes to Silas Young. Cheeseburger is kind of is who he is. He's got his Shotei gimmick. He's got his little gimmicks that he does. But you know, there's still some green things that he does in the ring. But yeah, Silas brought him to a really entertaining match, I thought. Probably somewhere in like the 3-star range. So really good stuff. Cheeseburger hits a suplex in the match. They're kind of battling back and forth. He keeps blocking him, and then Cheeseburger actually hits the suplex.
I'll give him credit too. BJ Whitmer on commentary was just dogging on Cheeseburger the whole time. Like he thinks he's gonna do a suplex. Like, what is wrong with this guy? And then he nails and he's like, oh.
Yeah, BJ Whitmer is not my favorite on commentary, but he played a role.
He did all right.
Coleman was okay. I thought Coleman had good reactions to things that were dramatic and exciting. And he'd get into it. He was just like, I'm a big fan of pro wrestling, man.
Yeah.
I liked Coleman's energy.
Yeah, that was fun.
But getting back to this match, after the match, Bully Ray comes out and just starts talking shit to Cheeseburger. He says, "Yeah, nobody likes you. Suck." He's like, "You're just a young boy. You have no personality. You never paid your dues." Goes in there, then Cheeseburger calls him an asshole. Speaking of explicit programming here, Honor Club is quickly becoming the NJPWWorld.com when it comes to wrestlers swearing, because there was a lot of swearing on this show in that regard. But yeah, Cheeseburger calls him an asshole, which felt appropriate for what he was doing. Bully Ray attacks him. Flip Gordon makes the save, but Bully Ray ends up standing tall anyway, shows off his Hall of Fame ring. I'm a Hall of Famer. All that shit. Bully gets in the face of a couple fans in the front row, so he's really doing good stuff.
Even going back to the commentary on it, too, Ian Riccaboni was like, then get out of here. Go back to the place that gave you that ring. Right. So, like, I got to go up to the commentary crew. They sold some of these matches.
6-woman tag match: Jenny Rose, Madison Rain, Brandy Rhodes versus Deonna Purrazzo, Tennille Dashwood, and Sumi Sakai. This was okay. Deonna Purrazzo, Tennille Dashwood, and Sumi Sakai getting the win. Sumi pins Brandy after everybody hits a big dive onto Bernard the Business Bear. Early in the match, or before the match, Jenny Rose didn't shake Sumi Sakai's hand. That was a little bit of a story in the match, but nothing big there. Bernard the Business Bear trips up Deonna Purrazzo behind the referee's back at one point in the match. Then after the match, Deonna Purrazzo calls out Kelly Klein. This was more about kind of the storyline going into their past from before or whatever, Kelly Klein and Deonna Purrazzo, and so she called her out, and this was How would you describe this, Todd? I thought this was good. It made me excited for their match a little bit, but I'm not really high on Kelly Klein, but I like the intensity of the back and forth.
Oh, God. I kind of want to rewatch it, get my facts straight about it, but
I don't think it was good by any means, but
I'm glad they're pushing the ladies, but yeah, it felt very... I kind of wish they had I kind of wish they WWE'd them a little bit more and kind of gave them a little bit more guidance. It definitely felt like a house show, and which is good. I'm having fun that they're doing these house shows that we can view in this sense, and these where these superstars are gonna have to step up, practice their things, get their shit out. Because if they were doing that on Ring of Honor TV, oof, that would have been a rough image.
Well, here's what I liked about it is that it was a little bit raw, and they were talking over each other and interrupting each other. I liked that part because that felt real. So I like a real feeling like that. It was just...
It also felt very awkward at times.
Well, yeah, when Deonna Purrazzo was just kind of doing the thing by herself, that was pretty awkward. You could tell she wasn't really comfortable on the mic or whatever. But then when they started doing the back and forth, again, the fact that it wasn't scripted, I really liked, and that it was just kind of those two.
Yeah, you could just tell Kelly Klein, though, has more confidence than Purrazzo did.
Yeah. Like it was different, but
I'm glad they're pushing these ladies because we've been saying on the last couple episodes, it hasn't been the greatest matches, but they need to have faith in these women, get them confidence, boost them up, and this championship's in the right direction, giving them more attentions in the right direction. So fuck yeah!
And the more they throw them out there, the more experience they're gonna get.
Right.
I mean, especially on the mic, wrestling wise, you can train in the back all you want. These ladies need experience in front of crowds. They need to be on cameras. They need to be able to feed off of it. So it's fun to see them out there.
Yeah, I like seeing that, like you said, that raw vibe of these Ring of Honor house shows, like them fucking having to go all the way across the stage to the fucking stairs to come out. I love that feeling. So
yeah, it's different from what you usually see.
It's fun.
And again, they're throwing around the B word and stuff like that, which is typically you don't want to do that too much because then it's just like, we're getting back to divas and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but
bitch.
But yeah, this one felt it definitely didn't feel along those lines. This one had a very real feel to it, so that's what I liked about it.
Hell yeah!
Big 8-man tag: the Young Bucks, Hangman Page, and Flip Gordon versus SoCal Uncensored and Shane Taylor. This was a fun match.
Fuck yeah!
Yeah, this was good. This was exactly what it should have been, and pretty much exactly what you would expect out of the Young Bucks and SoCal Uncensored and everybody else involved. Like you were gonna.
Oh no, I'm just agreeing with you.
Okay.
It was a super fucking fun match, and even for such a big guy like Shane Taylor, man, like getting some good spots in there with these guys.
The fun spot of the match where everybody gets everybody else in a triangle choke, except for Hangman Page. He comes up and puts whoever the first guy was. I think it was Shane Taylor actually.
Nope.
He puts him in a lion tamer, but does the thing where he's twisting, trying to get him over. But the whole pile, the other 7 guys who are all in these triangle chokes,
centipede.
the whole thing is rocking back and forth, and then he eventually turns the whole lot of them over, and then everybody's selling and going crazy for this lion tamer. So that was a lot of fun. Again, it's a silly spot, but again, this is a house.
That's the thing. If this was a spot on a big pay-per-view, it would have been like, that was cute.
Right,
but
and this is
it was such a house show. People are fucking loving it.
Let them have fun.
Mid-card match. It was fine. So everybody misses a big top rope move. Shane Taylor then teases going up top, but Flip hits the Kinder Surprise, and then Hangman Page hits the running powerbomb on Shane Taylor. Then the Young Bucks, Hangman Page, and Flip Gordon get the win. Everybody gets involved in the finish. They hit the rite of passage super indie taker, so Page gets the guy in the rite of passage position. I believe it was Kazarian that they got the finish on, but I'm not sure. But Page gets him in the rite of passage position, the basically the reverse pile driver, behind his back, and then Flip Gordon comes up and holds him in place, holds both guys, and then they get the both Young Bucks doing the springboard flippy do. So the double
flippy do,
the double indie taker deal there or whatever.
Those flippity doo-dahs.
Exactly.
Flip Gordon, man, it's middle of fucking April right now, and that dude is going to be underdog MVP of the year. Like, he's just hitting all the right fucking spots and
Fuck
everything
that guy.
right now.
Milk first.
Earth is round, Flip. But I like the spot after the match too, where Hangman Page has been on Team Cody this whole time, and so there were little moments of tension in the match, but nothing too over the top. But then after the match, Flip goes to offer him the handshake, and Hangman Page, he's resistant at first, but then goes in and gives him the hug.
Yep.
So and then he's like, get out of here. And
Get out of here, kid.
Skedaddle.
So interesting, those two kind of having that moment. I think those two would have a really good feud at some point, depending on what they do going forward. But we don't have any further storyline advances because there's no Being the Elite anymore. I miss Being the Elite. It wasn't here this week. They had the finale next. I refuse to believe that Being the Elite is over. They just went over 200,000 subscribers on YouTube. It was a great thing, but again, probably a lot of work. But hopefully it comes back. But
just unsubscribe. Show them.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, fuck you guys. Then we had the besties in the world versus the Briscoes. The besties. This was
good for these guys, man.
Yeah, these guys are some indie guys. They work around the Chicago area. I actually saw them at AAW when I was in Chicago last year, and the Davey Vega had really massive heat at that time. I believe they're supposed to be kind of a babyface tag team, but they're pretty popular.
They'll come out to fucking Savage Garden.
But I just remember the entire building at AAW singing, what the hell was it? Oh, fuck Davey Vega. So, just a large room singing that was very entertaining. But yeah, this was a squash match for the Briscoes here. But yeah, two guys that made the Briscoes look good.
I actually rewound their entrance because I was like, ooh, I want to see their entrance. And they just had some random music, of course. I was like, God damn it, what did I think?
Yeah. Then match of the show. This one's worth your Honor Club subscription right here. And by the way, this is your regular $9.99 Honor Club show. You don't have to have the VIP subscription for this one. Jonathan Gresham versus Jay Lethal.
Yeah.
This is their second matchup. The first match was the one where Jonathan Gresham got the knee injury. That came into the story here where Lethal's working over the knee and Gresham's working over Jay Lethal's arm. Very technical stuff early, but then they just like a good New Japan match, they get into the striking, the back and forth. Jonathan Gresham is Zack Sabre Jr. like in that he has that technical aspect to him, but he works it in such a way that's not so prickish too.
Right.
Whereas Zack Sabre Jr., he's got that. He's just a dick,
He's not just he's not putting you in a submission and kicking your face like lightly with his foot,
with a smug look on his face.
He walks that line though too. But yeah, a very very good match. Hard chops are after early technical feeling out process. Big suplex out of the ring to the floor. Jonathan Gresham counters a lethal injection, then counters a figure four into an armbar, which I thought was just really neat. Yeah. After the match, Jay Lethal does get the win. He counters he goes for the lethal injection. Gresham counters and goes into a roll up, and then Lethal counters that roll up into his own roll up and gets the win.
Nice.
So after the match, Jay Lethal gushes about Jonathan Gresham. You're why the Ring of Honor is this great place and we're the best wrestling in the world and blah blah blah. Really puts Gresham over. Then Gresham says, well, you're the greatest professional wrestler in the world. I'm the greatest technical wrestler in the world. I know I can beat you. Give me one more match.
Just like Christian.
And one more match. And Jay Lethal's like, yes, of course. So hopefully maybe
they did announce it. I fucking will distract the listeners until I pull it up on my phone right now.
Well, I know they've got another couple of house shows coming up in Florida. I believe I got them on the board over there. Maybe I don't.
Yeah, Bound by Honor.
Yeah, Bound by Honor, a couple of house shows in Florida. What are the dates on those? I can't see the dates.
427, 428.
Yeah, the 27th and 28th from Florida. I know they set up another match for that on this. I can't remember what it was now. What was the other match that they set up on this show?
Got some top-notch journalism going.
Yeah,
Oh, no, I'm wrong. It's,
tremendous analysis right here. But yeah, they set up a couple of matches for that show. Oh no, it was.
I'm going to need you to isolate him saying he's wrong.
It was the women's match. It was the Deonna Purrazzo and Kelly Klein. That's going to be because one of them got confused on what the date was. So it's one of those two shows in Florida.
They announced Lethal and Scorpio Sky at the West Palm Beach.
Well, I'm thinking maybe they'll do Lethal and Gresham again, maybe at the next pay-per-view, Best in the World. That's not until June though, so we got some time there. Yeah, but if neither of those are going to be in a championship program, I wouldn't mind them on a big main or a big match on a main pay-per-view. So that would be good there. Then Cody and Matt Taven first blood match. This was okay. Yeah, it was going back and forth, punches and stuff to the face.
I was kind of surprised they're going to do a first blood match on something like this, and not like a bigger card, quote, quote.
Right. Well, and it was the way they did the finish too with Cody, but Matt Taven, he's the one of the he's a CMLL welterweight champion or something like that. So he grabs his belt and goes to hit Cody. Cody punches the belt, and so his knuckles bleed, and that's the first blood, and that's the end of the match. So kind of an anticlimactic finish there.
That's exactly what it needed to be.
Exactly. That's why I was like, a first blood match on a thing like this. I was like, this shouldn't be fucking crazy. What the hell? Right. Like, why would you do this? And yeah, that ending made it make sense. So
then the main event was Defy or Deny. This was a 4-way match.
We gotta talk about Brandy chasing Vinny out with that axe though.
What was? Because the king. I do want to talk about the Kingdom here because Vinny Marcelia's new gimmick is whenever he shows up, he like releases balloons now, like this bundle of red balloons. So sometimes he's hiding under the ring, and all of a sudden you see these red balloons floating up. Oh, fucking! Here comes Vinny Marcelia. And then on Ring of Honor TV this week, they came in through the crowd, and here comes these fucking red balloons. So here's Vinny Marcelia and his axe. Same thing kind of happened in that match where he shows up, and then I can't remember what the spot was, but yeah, fucking Brandy Rose chases him.
Or was that at Ring of Honor TV?
Well, Ring of Honor TV, he gets the axe, and he after Nick Jackson, he's got the half of the cease and desist on him, and so he goes to grab the axe, and the ref catches him and everything like that.
The ref gets rid of the axe, and then here comes TKO with the bat, and then they use the bat.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So, but that was TV. But I don't.
I just thought it was hilarious. Brandy chasing him with that axe. Those two fucking just nope, pew.
Right. He brings the axe out, and because that's distracting the referee. Brandy then low blows Matt Taven, and then chases Marcelia out of there with the axe. So that's what it was. But yeah, fun little match.
It's a good win too for Taven.
So yeah, Defy or Deny, yeah, good stuff there. It kind of keeps this feud going, and I like this little kind of double heel feud. It's getting Matt Taven over for me because I fucking hate Cody. He's a tremendous heel.
That's what sucks about it though is you put Cody in there with Kenny Omega, and of course he's going to be booed, and then you throw him in there with Matt Taven, and of course Cody's going to be cheered. So it's just like it's really hard to like make him a heel. I kind of want this thing with Matt Taven wrapped up a little bit because it's like it's definitely helping the Kingdom get more over as heels and villains in a sense, but. And you got the whole crowd cheering for Cody like there's no tomorrow. Even the commentators were like, "These guys were just fucking booing him last week."
Yeah, I don't care. I'm booing Cody at home. It's fine. So. I'm over it. The Ring of Honor crowd can do whatever they want. He's Tai Chi to me when everybody hated Tai Chi and I liked Tai Chi. It's the opposite with Cody.
So
I hate.
I'm
Cody.
loving the Kingdom as the weeks go on more and more too.
Fucking Marcelia's getting over with me.
Yeah, dude.
TKO. The fucking balloons, man. I tell you,
balloons, baseball bats, and axes. What more do you want?
I mean, Taven calling people Melvins is working for some fucking reason. It just is what it is. All right, main event: Defy or Deny. So this was Dalton Castle, the champion, versus Marty Scurll, Beer City Bruiser, and Punishment Martinez.
Not for the championship, like I said last week.
Correct. This was if Dalton Castle wins, whoever he beats can never challenge him again for the championship. And then, obviously, if somebody else wins the thing, they get a title shot in the future. So this was an elimination style as well. Dalton has a kind of a cast on his right hand, selling the broken finger injury or whatever from Supercard of Honor.
That was what he was selling. Okay, I thought he really did fuck up his wrist or something.
Well, it's certainly a possibility, but the announcers kind of sold it as, well, Marty broke his fingers in the match last week.
Okay, I missed that part.
I kind of wish that there would be a little more consistency to this. I wanted Todd Sinclair to also have his fingers bandaged up. You know. Just like every time Marty Scurll breaks someone's fingers, I think they should have bandages on their fingers for the minimum a month. You know?
But everybody would just have bandages on their fingers at that point.
Well, somebody would always, but not everybody all the time. You do it for at least a month. You sell it, it becomes part of the story in your matches.
He'll be feuding with the same 3-4 guys.
It's like Matt Jackson in his back. He's been using that gimmick all year.
Fuck Matt Jackson's back.
So, every time Marty Scurll breaks somebody's fingers, they got to be taped up for a month at least, and you got to be selling those fingers in your matches. I think that would be a fun continuity thing.
And every time Matt Jackson farts, he throws his back out.
You're exactly. Scurll goes to get his umbrella, but Brian Malonis comes out. Dalton tries to throws his boys onto Brian Malonis at the ringside area. Big dives from Punishment Martinez and the Beer City Bruiser. Martinez eliminates the Beer City Bruiser with the South of Heaven choke slam. Dalton eliminates Punishment Martinez with Bangarang, so it comes down to Dalton Castle and Marty Scurll. Scurll re-breaks those broken, fucked up fingers, then pins Dalton with a roll-up counter to his Bangarang. So getting the actual pin on the champion here. So I imagine that's probably going to be your best in the world main event come June. Marty Scurll versus Dalton Castle here.
Take it again.
So, yeah, good stuff there.
Take that.
All right, let's talk Ring of Honor TV now from this week. Again, this was taped back at Sam's Town, so right after the 16th anniversary pay-per-view. But I think they're doing a decent job with trying to keep the continuity of what's going on that house show, what's going on the TV.
I feel like once they finally find their groove with it, they're really going to find a really good system between the house show tapings and then the house shows on the website and then the pay-per-views.
And it's pretty easy right now to avoid Ring of Honor spoilers too, so that they're not as prevalent as like NXT spoilers.
Sure.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit easier if you're the type that tries, because that's certainly me. I try to avoid the spoilers. I'd like to see the story play out in front of me. So 2 matches really on this week's Ring of Honor TV, and both of them very good. And the second match was a bunch of tag matches, so there was really like more matches because it was a tag team gauntlet match to determine the number 1 contender to face the Briscoes for the championships down the road. But before that, the opening match was Kazarian versus Hiromu Takahashi.
Yeah, that's right.
This was
this was fun.
Yeah, really fun, good match. Kazarian hits a suplex on the floor, right into the guardrail. But yeah, Hiromu was over. You got fucking Daryl out there, one of the fans bringing him to the ring. And Kazarian, man, he just, for a guy you don't expect a lot out of, he really brings it. You know, in those matches with Hangman Page and this match, you know, he's one of those sleeper guys that you don't think about.
Going right back to the commentaries for Ring of Honor, you know, they're pointing that out. How you know, like he's older, he's an older guy, and he's better and better shape as he gets older, and you know that's how he's staying relevant and in these good fucking matches. And yeah, that dude definitely fucking steps up.
So the tag team gauntlet match, it was supposed to start with the Beer City Bruiser and Brian Malonis versus Coast to Coast, but Malonis and BCB attack LSG in the back before the match. So it
WTF.
It was just the Beer City Bruiser and Malonis versus the partner Shaheem Ali, ALI. So Beer City Bruiser and Malonis, of course, get the win with the Superplex and the Bullfrog Splash, being that it was a handicap match, unfortunately. Couldn't hang versus the
two
big
that,
guys.
though, because they're definitely pushing Coast to Coast a little bit. I mean, fuck, they beat War Machine.
Right. And
so they're keeping them as a strong tag team, and, you know, this is a good way for them to lose, not being the tag team pitcher, but still go on about their way.
And now you've got a grudge match between Beer City Malonis and Coast to Coast, so there's a good story there.
I'm not gonna lie, I did want Beer City Bruiser and Malonis to just all the way.
You know, I can't lie. I think I actually like Beer City Bruiser and Malonis a little better than Coast to Coast. Coast to Coast has the cool moves and all that stuff, but there's still not quite the connection there for me yet.
Yeah, they're not the largest tag team in Ring of Honor history.
And trust me, it's not the Malonis side of things that I don't know why. I'm just this giant Beer City Bruiser dork.
Him and Silas Young grew on this podcast.
Yeah. So the second match in the gauntlet was Bruiser and Malonis versus the Dogs. Again, Bruiser and Malonis get the win here with the second rope superplex over Will Ferrara.
I did like the Dogs promo coming out for this, though. They're like, at Supercar of Honor, they said we were too drunk to fight. I think we found two other guys who are just drunk enough for us to fight.
Yeah, I did like that, too. Then it was BCB and Malonis versus the MCMG, Motor City Machine Guns. Good action here. These guys, what the hell? They get the win quickly with Made in Detroit. So that was the quick win for Motor City Machine Guns. The Bruiser ends up cannonballing Malonis from the apron to the floor. That kind of takes out Malonis, leading to the Motor City Machine Guns able to get the victory there. And let's be honest, they were just out of gas by this point anyway, 3 matches in. So that led to good action between Motor City Machine Guns and YB, the Young Bucks. Young Bucks get the win with the backslide over Sabin, but again, I can't.
Was it Matt Jackson with the backslide?
I don't remember, but again, I can't stress enough the good action between these two teams was. I like when they do that back and forth corner thing where they're just running back and forth between the two corners, switching, do-si-doing, and reversing. I just get a kick out of that spot that they do every time. Hot tag to Nick in the match. He runs all over the place. He's in the ring, taking guys out. He's doing dives outside, back in the ring, back doing another dive. Matt's over there selling his back after a long heat on him. But then it was the Young Bucks, like I said, getting the win there with the backslide. Then it came down to the Young Bucks and the Kingdom. TKO, Vinny Marseglia. Again, Taven comes out, does the entrance. That's distracting the Young Bucks. Here come Marseglia and TK Orion from the crowd. Here come the red balloons, the attack from behind. Good stuff there, the sneak attack. They get the heat on Matt. He comes back with the top rope elbow, then does a twisting top rope blockbuster. Another hot tag to Nick. He gets TKO in the sharpshooter, but then Marseglia comes in with the axe, as we were talking about before. That distracts the referee. He gets the axe the fuck out of there, but then TKO comes in with the bat. They get the bat involved, but it was the Young Bucks getting the win with the Meltzer driver. So
fucking conspiracy, man.
It's really interesting here because we're going to have the Young Bucks versus the Briscoes, and I just wanted to kind of note the difference in their styles. Like we talked about the squash match versus the besties in the world from Masters of the Craft. Yep. The Briscoes are just that hard-hitting, in-your-face style, whereas the Young Bucks are definitely more spot-based.
But they're beefing up now. They're a bunch of beefcakes.
Right, but they're not known for that hard-hitting style, so it's a bit of a styles clash, pardon the pun. I think it'll be good.
What makes the Young Bucks to me in the first place is that they are smaller guys, and I do personally feel like the super kick is one of the most over fucking moves being used right now for just anybody in any promotion. But the Young Bucks are smaller guys, so
they were the first ones to overuse
exactly.
it.
but to them it makes sense to me because they're, like I said, they're smaller guys, and if they're going up against someone like Jay Briscoe, who's a fucking meathead who just wants to pound you into the fucking ground, someone like him is going to need a super kick just to get him down on his fucking knee by more super kicks. But when I see nonstop super kicks against Roppongi 3K, it's like, that's neat.
All right, so before we wrap up here and go to the Kojima tweet, I did want to talk really quickly, just the two big, not big, but there's two main events. Two main events for the New Japan Road to Dontaku shows coming up. I believe it's Monday and Tuesday this week. So on the 23rd, what is that, Monday?
23rd and 24th.
23rd and 24th. The main event for that one is the tag match, the junior tag match. Hiromu Takahashi and Bushi versus El Desperado and Yoshinobu Kanemaru. And then the 24th, the main event is David Finlay versus Jay White for the U.S. title. So, and then, of course, the undercard full of a bunch of other tag matches matches with all of those same players going against each other again. But yeah, your Raw and SmackDown next week for New Japan has a couple of cool main events with the junior tags and the U.S. title on the line. So look forward to
Always
those.
Something interesting with their shows.
Yep.
Oh, fuck yeah.
So we'll talk about those next week. So let's get out of here with that Kojima tweet.
Now it's time for the Satoshi Kojima Tweet of the Week.
So we've been talking about how Kojima has been coming back from his injury, rehabbing or whatever. So today, his tweet, well, not today, but today's tweet, he had a picture of Hanma in the gym with him. Hanma is another New Japan wrestler who's been out with an injury, a bad neck injury, questionable about whether he'll ever come back, but he was a fun guy who never got a lot of big singles wins. That was kind of the story for him for a long time. Never got any singles wins, but finally got a win in the G1 Climax a few years ago, and it was the biggest thing ever because he finally got a win. Always going for victories with his Kokeshi headbutt, and so he's on the road to recovery as well. So Kojima posted a picture of Hanma in the gym with him and said this: "His name is Hanma. I and him are fighting injuries. His fighting spirit is wonderful, but he likes rice rather than bread." So follow Kojima.
That's almost like an angry tweet from Kojima.
I think it was in good spirits, but
This guy likes rice.
you can follow Kojima at cozy_lariat. If you're on Twitter, join the conversation at Strong Honor. I'm at Tommy Stryker, spell Stryker with a Y. Make sure if you're into WWE and all that other stuff in the world, maybe even Impact. We might even talk some Impact this week. Check out Best Pro Wrestling Podcast. Talk a little bit of everything over there, but definitely Raw, SmackDown, the Superstar Shake-Up, all of that stuff over there on Best Pro Wrestling Podcast. Strong Honor Podcast at gmail.com if you want to email the show. If you got questions about New Japan or topics you just want us to talk about, go ahead, hit us up, Twitter, email, facebook.com/Strong Honor Podcast. We're definitely open to chatting and
There's
joining.
some good matches out there, like CML wise. Let us know.
Absolutely. So don't be shy. We're all active there. And I believe that's everything for me. Taco, where can people find you?
Find me on Twitter at HGREV Taco.
And you can follow me, Joe, at JoeBPWB. That's at Joe, Best Pro Wrestling Podcast.
That's going to do it for Strong Honor. Bye.
Adios.
Hasta jueves. Adios.